let's do a little recap of our last session. After defeating the false Hydra underneath the Greenway Resort, and then preventing Turlon, who seemed to be momentarily possessed by a purple crystal they had, preventing them from reaching seemingly the heart of this false Hydra, which had another larger purple crystal within it. You all exited the basement of the Greenway Resort, seeing that the false Hydra was dead, all of its necks laying in the ground, seemingly, coming from a high height, impacting the ground quite a bit. The crowd there had been dispersed. People are kind of crying, but also relieved and shock. And you all were praised by the superior priest Fen of the Greenway Resort. Given your flowers, as she put it, fully healed back up, and you got to get an audience with the Ultra Priest for your deed. You made a long trek up to the top of the tower of the Ultra Priest, and very ominously, it appeared like the Ultra Priest was torturing an individual for doing something, someone wearing Zaroon garb. But through trying to save this individual, you all realized it was an illusion, just an elaborate prank by the Ultra Priest, who seems to love to do stuff like that. And then you all had a long discussion. Many things were said, and that is where we're going to pick up with this session, right where that left off, because there may be some unfinished things. But the major highlights: the Ultra Priest thinks the strongest thing that John could aspire to be is something called a Titan, which then made Vita have memories of some past life of when he was someone named Zell Gradris, apparently, who was looking for a Titan, a buried Titan. And essentially the realization that all of these crystals that you have kind of interacted with in this language, something that is named Alkasan, which Furlong you'd only had recently heard about, in your travels throughout the Tilgi Forest, is apparently in relation to things that were long ago banished by the First Order deities beyond the Alkasan Barrier, and had not appeared in Sumia for that entire time until maybe around 2000-ish years ago. And slowly the barrier appears to not be working quite as well anymore. Things are starting to appear, languages and crystals. No good stuff. And if the gods were to ever find out about this, especially the First Order deities, considering last time they fully eradicated and cleansed the whole universe, basically, of everything that's Alkasan. If they were to discover that again, could be no bueno for everything that exists now. So it's important that the higher order deities do not know about this, but it's kind of been suggested to you by the Ultra Priest that, well, the deities can't do anything about it. If there's anything that you all can learn more, perhaps going to see where this buried Titan was. That seems to be a big lead for, Vita's past as Zell Gradris. If you all can discover more information, get more crystals, the better. Because honestly, the Ultra Priest doesn't know that much. So we're going to just pick right back up, because we kind of ended last session because it was running quite late. Let's pick up. Does anybody have anything to say to anybody? Ask any questions about this Alkasan stuff? I mean, in our new Discord channel, there's a whole bunch of leads that were put in the leads chat for various weird Alkasan things that could be discussed.
I'm leaving.
Let's see. Oh Lord.
Yeah. Let's just dive right into it.
So that was a lot.
So
Yeah.
that was indeed a lot.
And we ain't gotta fix it all today.
All right.
This is Vita speaking. That was a lot.
Oh yeah.
And is there anything weird we can remember? Ignoring the whole past life situation. I mean, the stones? Those are probably Alkasan, right?
Most likely.
I mean, the stones are all I know
No.
about you guys. So,
You've never seen anything weird?
anything weird? One time I saw this snake with 2 heads, but besides that, not really.
Is
Okay.
that separate from the Hydra?
No, it was just a little corn snake that had 2 heads. I think it kind of mutated.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
I
It's
mean,
not as
we
scary as the
saw
Hydra.
Sick.
some mutated wolves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
you have
still
2
not.
heads.
Something.
Yeah, we still don't really know anything about that.
That was like my, 20th day of being alive, so I really remember it. It was like the first thing I really saw.
Forgot you're just a baby.
Yeah. So wait, hold on. Don't we still need to solve the storm? Isn't that our biggest problem?
I
The
got
Our
that
most
vibe that
immediate
we
problem
weren't
that we are
gonna-
also trying to
He said we
solve.
can't.
Or that it's,
What's-
and also that
yeah.
it's like mostly dissipating.
What's
Okay,
the storm?
Okay.
Well,
Oh.
Oh, I think I actually saw that because I was riding through the desert here, and then I think I saw that. That's
saw
you
it
guys?
on the horizon.
Yeah, long story short.
It wasn't us doing the storm, but we might have sent it this way incidentally.
Oh.
No, we
Alright.
did not send it this way. It was a complete accident.
I mean, when we asked the Ultra Priest about the storm, he was like, I don't think we can do anything about it. But
Okay.
if we get more Alkasan information and stones and shit, maybe we can figure out some way to interact.
Hey, Steven.
Yeah.
Just so I can get John cut up to speed, can I pretend that, like, during
We
this
explain everything.
conversation, I explained most of everything that's in the leads folder?
Yes, that's what primarily the leads is, not like that's kind of just already. It's just a summary of everything that has happened. There's
Yeah,
kind
John
of
knows about
various
the
ways.
wolves, man.
Alright.
We
told
told
him
him about
the
those
wolves.
wolves.
We told him
It,
about
was,
those
it got
wolves.
told. John knows everything here.
If I'm being honest, it sounds like that buried fellow, the big guy. I don't want to cause you to have another episode. Oh shit, he's gone. You know, I'd be interested in pursuing that,
Just
but it
tying
seems
my
kind
shoe.
of like a later problem. I kind of like the idea of going after the Alkishan stuff. Sounds like a fun little treasure hunt. I see that James fellow has a bit of a lead, and then going back that way, we get back near the Tilgi Forest. So
Hmm.
the Gatch brothers.
The Gas Brothers. How could we forget? How could
So
we?
me, I just want to
Hold
get
on.
stronger. So
Thinking.
I mean, if you want to get stronger, and I feel like we either need a better lead than the Titan, or the Titan is the best place to go because it's directly related to Alkasan, and it's the strongest thing that you could possibly be or interact with.
well, I think I'm a bit far from that, but maybe it might be worth going to talk to him if he's awake and willing to answer questions.
'Cause what
Anyway.
else? I mean, yeah, there's the Gatch brothers. That honestly, who the fuck is that? James. He's strange.
They are a
I don't
strange
even
one.
really remember James.
You do still
2
have
weeks
the
ago.
coin of luck.
Who has it?
Can anyone here read
Eternal
Alkishan?
has it.
I have it.
I don't think any of us can read it. No.
No one can read it unless you had a spell that would allow you to read it.
Translate it.
I got I don't know if it'll work, but above board during the break, I got Turlon got a magical tattoo,
Sick.
which lets them read small bits of text that are in a
Ooh.
different language once a day.
Very nice.
Can I pull up the exact description of it now? Yeah.
You would likely, with some time, be able to read Alcation. We can resolve that once
Yes,
after this
okay.
discussion and after the week. But yes, after the week, that's probably something you could do. There are ways
Yeah.
of doing it.
All right.
So I do think the best thing we could do is honestly tackle each of these leads one at a time from easiest to hardest. Like just go talk it out, see what we find, and probably just get to fight baddies, ghouls, and goblins along the way. I guess the real question is which is the like after we take our break and figure things out here, what is the first lead we want to go after?
Yeah, I think let's spend the week.
I
You
think
go,
you
John.
guys, the caustic animals has been, that's something that hasn't been addressed in a while. Might be worth revisiting that.
Yeah, we could walk around. Like we could walk around Oade and some of the smaller villages around here and see if they've seen any here. And if they haven't seen any here, we can, we can just make our way back to the Tilgi Forest and ask around and see what people have seen there. Plus, that could give Felix some time to not be in a city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think why don't we look at them through order of importance? Like personally, the Gatch brothers, I don't care about.
Sorry,
They're lower on the tier.
As a me. Oh wait, Kevin took his thing off.
Cat screaming.
And what would investigating the Titan mean? Like, what would we do?
I mean,
think
we're not
what it came from there is that essentially that's how Vita or Zelgradris, what the Ultra Priest supposes is that is how Zelgradris became banished, became beyond the Alkasan
Titan
Barrier.
stuff.
It's like the
So
direct link to the
like that,
Alkasan Barrier.
everything else kind of just is there, whereas that is more.
And we don't know where the Titan is.
If
No,
so,
we do.
Oh,
you
okay.
do.
Yeah, at least the general area where Zelgradis was from and where he was
Okay.
exploring.
Hmm.
Although I think it would, me, Dylan, I think doing something for Felix would be more interesting, but I want to try and find a blend to where it makes sense for our party to want to do it. Because
Where was the Titan located?
The map.
I don't know in terms of the map, where anything is.
I mean,
but
I'll say that what you
I
know,
know what you told me, but
what you know is everybody in the Sumia map down by the Yimba Wilds, by the Y in the Yimba Wilds.
oh shit, right there.
Do we have a map
in
here?
Yeah,
Sorry.
in the
Oh, there it is.
Sumia
Maps.
map.
Doi.
By the
No,
Y
in
and
Foundry.
also in
Yeah.
Foundry, both work, but by the Y in the Yimba Wilds, there is a town called Dinsen, which you know that Zell went to university there and did a lot of research. Got an award from there and
Yeah, explorer shit.
did some exploring. So around there,
I think to me the Titan feels like a bit of a later game thing. I think dealing with all of the mental things of going back home with Zell / Vita might be a bit better of a task for when we're know each other better. I think in world Felix had been doing this because he wanted uh, to go address what was wrong in his forests. I'm out doing this because I want to be away from the hands of the 10 cuts, and I don't want to speak for everyone else. But I know John wants to get strong.
I'm just here
So-
for the ride.
Yeah, I think it makes the most sense to go start asking about the caustic animals. I think that's like an easy low barrier thing.
Well,
I think in the game perspective it does, but I think whatever Felix wants to do.
I would like
feel
to do wolves because I
Yeah,
feel like that's what you would
so
want
in
to do.
character, I'm gonna say, well, what happens if we find this Titan and then wake it up?
Bad things, assumedly.
The Ultra
don't know.
Priest said he could basically throw
Destroy
people
everything.
back into that barrier. Now, frankly, I feel strong, but not strong enough to fight a Titan. And I don't know of anything on this planet that can fight a Titan right now,
Mhm.
purely due to a lack of knowledge.
yeah.
It
And I
might
don't
be.
want to
It
see
feels
them
like
anyway.
this caustic animal thing is like a loose end. Something that might deal with the Alkatian stuff. And if we're going back up that way, we can ask Chames, this guy Chames, about it, since he gave your dead friend Alden that coin.
The coin. Well, the coin has Alkasian on it, right?
It does have it written on the side of it.
Yeah, I take out the coin.
Yeah.
And
Okay. I forgot about that.
I point at it.
Yeah,
I,
'cause-
I think if we head back to the Tiliki Forest, it'll be easy to stop by. Actually, wait, let me fact check that before I say that. Yes, it'll be easy to stop by Ridak.
yeah, because I don't honestly I don't want to see any of those people from my past life at all. And fighting a Titan after what we just did sounds like the worst idea.
Cool.
Um,
I've said all I need to say in character personally,
Fuck
so
yeah.
I'm ready when you guys
And
are.
why do we
maybe
think?
Chames would also know something about these crystals.
You might.
Yeah,
And the wolves have a similar coloration, like sheen to them, as the orange and blue
Now,
did.
I also figure we can probably say we've decided this now, move on and address everything that happens in the week, because I imagine all of us have things that happen during the week that impact
Too
this
much for
particular
me,
move.
yeah.
yeah. Well, I still have one more question about the wolves.
And I also have one last thing.
Mhm.
Is there anybody in Riddock that, you guys were like, because you just said, I don't want to see anybody from my past, and that got me thinking, well, is there anyone in Riddock who you don't want to see?
No, I think we're fine.
Well, I think we saved them, and then they
Yeah.
sent us away to stop the storm from their town, and we did that. So we
Okay,
should
I
be.
Actually,
just
yeah,
don't
we
know if
might
you
have
guys have
to
any
probably
enemies.
go back there.
Because you, Alden, Felix, you got people on you, so I'm wondering if it's going to be the same everywhere.
No, I think it's just going to be here, and even now that's over with the
Okay.
Ultra Beast.
So for me, with this upcoming week, the wolves. So do we think? How do we think they're related to Alkasian stuff? Just for me to like look into something. Just because their color, maybe,
they have a different elemental power.
or they green or
They were
something.
They were
green.
green.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember asking Steven if it was like the same. I don't know.
Whatever.
Different
get it.
pigment, same type of
I
thing.
forgot
and
they
like,
were green.
Yeah.
It looks like Utah was involved, but given that the Ultra Priest sort of flipped when Alkatian was mentioned, it might not be worth bringing it up to another god.
Probably
I
not.
also,
I don't know how quickly.
we think we kind of got a catch all from the Ultra Priest that like anything weird and bizarre is probably
Probably.
from it coming from the
Yeah.
Alkasan.
Yeah.
Things coming from beyond the Alkasan Barrier. So it just like I
Probably
think
not the wolves.
in world and above board, it's probably Alkatian.
And even if it isn't, we do a good
Yeah.
deed by
We
stopping
can take
it.
the week to finish up here, get ready, head back to Redock. We don't tell them anything about Alkasian, but maybe we can ask about the wolves and look into Chames and then see what we learn from there and get a little stronger and save the forest. It's kind of a big
All right.
deal.
Let's do the thing.
Yeah. The first thing that I want to resolve is, we're going to talk about y'all's week. But Vita, when you are going to bed tonight, do you try and not have dreams or no? It's up to you.
No, I'll have dreams because he told me that she's probably not that bad.
Okay.
And Ori died. I feel like I can't just skip that one.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get the fucker back.
Yeah.
I'll say
Missed the
that.
bird already.
I'll say that you all kind of have a room, a little place, one of just the slices of the tower, and the tower of the Ultra Priest. You are given as kind of just your space. There's some rooms in there, various beds, and you can kind of make your space your own if you wanted. But when sleeping there that night, Vita, you were woken in the middle of the night by a tapping on your shoulder.
Oh, God.
And you look to your right, and there is Ori looking at you, kind of floating there. Do you say anything?
Hey.
Hey, little guy.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
Ori says, one second.
Dude turned around like blew up behind him.
Dude, he looks pissed. Looks like he's about to scold someone.
All right. I'll say that
What we're doing.
you're getting tapped by Ori, and you asked how it's doing. It says to you in a voice that's not Ori's voice. It says, in this kind of lighter, feminine tone, it says, "I'm doing well, Vida. I'd like to speak to you. Somewhere private if we can."
Okay. Are you a new girl, Ori? Or are you
Did you transition?
Ori kind of shakes his head and says, kind of looks around. I'll say, like, the space that you all are in is kind of enclosed. Like, there's kind of like stalls, as it were, like kind of these half walls, but it's not exactly like the most closed environment. Maybe you could make it so in the future, but it's certainly not as closed as, like, if you had your own room. Kind of looks around and says, "No, this is still the same Ori, but this is just Sulon speaking to you through it."
Okay.
Can we go in the
Let's go.
hallway, please?
Yeah, sure. Sure, we can.
You all leave to the hallway, and as soon as, Ori's kind of floating there, and Ori normally kind of hovers around you, but it seems to be moving on its own fruition, or with its own presence in mind. And as you all get into the hallway, you stand there and you see that Ori kind of begins to grow. And, Ori has this, as if you're looking through it, has, kind of this cosmic look to it with these stars and this deep blue and black, coloration that's not even colored skin. It's as if you were looking through just the shape of Ori, you were looking into this cosmic space. It begins to grow and kind of fold in and out until eventually, before your eyes, you're just kind of watching it. It appears to take on a female elvish form, wearing this, white dress that kind of just is very flowy, and appears to just be kind of floating right in front of you, a foot off the ground within the hallway.
Oh my god.
And you see that the skin is not like any skin you've seen. That skin is still like Ori, where it has kind of this see-through cosmic behavior, where even if you move your head or it moves, it seems like you're just looking through the shape of a female elf into this cosmic painting. And as the transformation completes, she says, "Well, hello, Vida. How are you doing? I haven't been able to see how you were. Were you able to take down that Hydra?"
Yeah, John did most of it, honestly. I think. But yeah, I feel like we all would have been a lot nicer to you if you looked like this the whole time. Just have to say.
She kind of sighs and she says, "Yes, I think I see that now as well. What I wanted to speak to you about, Vida, is, well, I'm kind of new to all of this. To be honest with you, I don't have many third order deities beneath me. And then I have even fewer mortals that I bestow powers upon, like you. And then you are an interesting case, Vida. It's not someone that I chose specifically, more you chose me. So I just would like to say, at first I tried to be stern. That didn't really seem to work out. And then I tried to be, well, more caring, say not to get yourself in harm's way, and then, well, you're fighting false hydras. So I think I just need to help you in whatever journey you're reaching for, and not try and be in your way at all. So I would just like to apologize to you if that's okay, Vita.
You know what? It's okay. And I'm sorry for what we did to Ori and what we did to Vines. I feel like that was messed up.
And she kind of squints her eyes and she says, "Who's Vines?"
Vines is the other purple guy that you brought back. Right? Okay.
Her
never
eyes
mind.
squint and she says, I did not bring you back, Vita. This is what I kind of wanted to talk to you about is I now am realizing that when you say you have
It's
no memory,
Vines. Okay, sorry.
Hines is just like that. He's a schizophrenic purple guy.
That's insane.
Yeah, he just paints
Okay.
himself purple.
That's crazy. Okay, whatever.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about, Vita, is that I did not bring you back. And when you say that you don't remember your past, I remember when you first appeared in my realm, you said the same thing. To be honest with you, I didn't believe you. I was frightened at first, but
Wow.
it seems as though you truly don't know how you arrived within my realm. And maybe you don't even remember arriving within my realm. So if you have any questions for me, please, I'd love for you to ask them. I want to try and be an open book.
I've just got him on my mind. I'm a little worried. So there was this guy Vines. He's purple like me.
Okay.
I feel like we made an enemy out of him because one of us like knocked him on his ass a little bit. But I literally assumed he said he was brought back, like I was by the Dark One. I thought you were, the moon. That's the Dark One. But do you have any elaboration on that? Because I feel like that might be more of a issue that we have created in the town that we're in.
He says, "The Dark One." No, I don't particularly know who that is. What do you know why you're purple? Do you remember that?
Bro, do you
No.
know?
I don't know. I thought I was
You
born
can't just
this way.
ask someone why they're purple, man.
Why are you white?
She says, "Well, you,
Because I'm
you,
cursed, right? That's what
uh,
that old guy said.
old guy." And she kind of looks around. I assume you met with the Ultra Priest, considering you're within his tower.
Yeah. Or I meant Sir Ross. Sir Roth. Fuck. I get him and his lackey's names confused, but
And don't forget Sirash.
Sir Ross, yeah. He said I was cursed.
Yes,
You can just tell me why I'm purple.
that is true. You are cursed. Have been you have been banished at some point in your previous life. You do not remember it, which is odd. Most people that are banished remember their time of being banished, but you,
How do you know that?
well, she kind of
If they never come back.
thinks, well, she says, well, to be honest, no one really did until some things have started to come back. There are ways of bringing back people who are banished. It requires quite a bit of power and someone on this end. And so I've seen it for those people, but I don't think anyone brought you back, Vita, which is a little concerning to me, but it hasn't become an issue yet.
Okay. Well, this is going to take some time. This seems like a very strange thing to be talking to a goddess like this normally, but
He
I
says,
think we're
believe
gonna.
me, it's normal. It's weird for me to be speaking to a mortal like this as well. I don't really
Okay.
do this often.
Why don't you give me a week to decompress? This was a lot that just happened today. I think I'm gonna go try and find that Vines guy before something worse happens. And I think we'll touch base.
She kind of
But
nods her head.
yeah, I'll be nicer to Ori. I'll let everyone know that he is part of the team.
She nods her head and she says, I would appreciate that, Vita, and thank you for understanding. I've been inconsistent, but I think I'm getting better. Is there anything else you wanted to ask me?
Nope.
And she
I
kind of
want
nods
to go
her
back to
head.
sleep.
And then the same reverse transformation occurs where Ori becomes his normal shape.
Ooh.
Boo.
Begins to follow you around. And
I go back
that
to sleep.
occurs within your
Get him
first.
out of here!
So, what I'd like to do for this
Set up a
week.
nice big burp to end it.
What I'd like to do for this week for you all is if you all could, as much as you want, describe what you think or what happened within the week. You can be as forthright as you want. I'll say that this is player to player so that you can specify if there are things that you don't want the characters to know and you just want the other players to know because it's interesting. It is entirely up to you. You can be as expository as you'd like about what you all did with your week. Just in general, it doesn't have to be in specific to the things that we discussed in DMs as well. It can be as general as you'd like.
Who wants to
Alright.
talk about their week?
Vita, do you want to talk about your week? I'm calling on you.
Someone else can go first.
No,
I just went.
I do. I'll talk about my week.
Get
Me.
nuts.
What did you do this week, Turlon? As
Well,
much
I'll
as you
start-
want to give to the players.
Yeah. I'll start with sharing info about what I got, because I picked up various bits of equipment that will be useful. So I got the reading glyph, which is a tattoo. By the way, look into Pathfinder tattoos; they're sick. They take up investment slots if that matters to you. But uh, mine lets me read one undeciphered bit of text a day. And I got it. Oh, this is the cool thing. I got it to cover up my 10 cuts scars. It's mostly just a bunch of like lines
Yeah,
that go
a little
over
bit
it.
harder to see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would have showed it to you guys, but probably not. I would have mentioned the magic capabilities, but Turlon genuinely got it more for the cover up than for the
Okay.
magic element. Although it's
Do you know what
cool.
counts as like a bit of text? Is it like a word a day?
The exact description of it is it's like it says it doesn't really
It's not
say
very
the
clear,
exact bit.
so
To me, it seems like one statement is kind
yeah,
of
I'll
what I
say a
read it as.
sentence kind of makes sense.
Pretty good.
Yeah, sentence
Yeah.
makes sense.
And it's once a day, which is still very good.
More lore for Steven, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. If it works on Alcation, we're gonna be epic.
Dude, every Alcation thing I write, I know what it says. Don't worry.
Mm.
Oh.
I got spider venom. Oh, venom, that's an AIDS word. If you want to lock in on that.
I'm submitting
I don't
Venom
like
by
that.
Eminem instantly that week. Just
Yeah.
That's the first one.
This is gonna be interesting. I don't know if you guys want to try it. I would offer it to you. Turlon, it's not described. It's described as a drug, but I don't think it's described as like a super like illicit, like how we think of like cocaine. I don't know if I'm gonna get you demonetized for saying cocaine, Steven. I don't know if you're demonetized.
I'm not
You're
monetized.
not monetized.
That would be so
Um,
much bigger to be monetized.
But I got Dreamtime tea, which has a effect of it stupefies you, but once it stupefies you, it lets you cast the spell augury when you drink it. But with a higher flat check than normal. So that's cool. But it is addictive. So
More
yeah.
things for Turlon to be addicted to.
I would offer it to all of you. I'm not going to do it right now, but I have it. I also got a Traveler's Any tool. It could turn into, get this, any tool.
Dude, he said it.
And
Said the
yeah, I
name.
also got a bunch of healing potions and shit. I'm also not gonna dive super duper into it. But I did go to the archives and ask a couple questions. I asked about hero cards and it seems likely to me that tarot cards, the tarot card-esque reading thing that I do, is related to Alcation. Primarily because the way Steven characterized it, and I'm looking at the text right now, is that it seems to almost be like new in terms of like there's not a lot of history written about it, and the history that is there indicates that like it's expanded as a new thing, but there are also very old texts referencing it. And there was even one older book that they had in the library that was like censored, like pages were ripped out of it, things were covered up, all sorts of bits. I don't think I've left out any other super important detail, but it basically just seems like tarot cards are sort of they've been referenced throughout history, and only recently has there been like a major uptake of it. And the term itself comes from a family that lived in Sildaria City, which specialized in the connections with the non-divine, is what the book said. So
Good
it
old
definitely
Silveria.
seems to me like connected to some sort of like latent energy from the Alcation stuff dripping over the Alkazon Barrier. Um, that's the by far the biggest lead worth sharing that I have. Turlong also went 2 other days to the archives, and if you guys ask what's up, and you can decide if you would or not, but if you asked what they were going, they said it was personal stuff, inquiring about family.
Can I get
That's
a
what
rock update? Who has them? What's happening with
I
the
don't.
stones?
I don't have the rock, and Steven did not tell me that I was getting rocked.
No,
So I feel like I'm good.
Felix has the small rock, and John has the big rock.
God,
I'm not going into rock withdrawal, as far as I'm aware.
cool.
I guess actually I would mention that the only thing I'm a little concerned about maybe is some of my research into my mother suggests that she might possibly be doing research that, how do I put this lightly, could be used to teleport me away from you guys. I don't really know. They gave me a press release about my mom, and it was about how she had developed alchemy tracking, which was special techniques to use alchemical reactions to basically transport objects or bind things to objects to move them throughout space. So that's cool. So we'll see. We'll see if that gets used. Also, for reference, I would not really get into it, but I would say I ran away from home. So
Ooh.
that's why I'm a little worried that they might use it to get me back.
I'm sure that'll be fine.
I don't think that'll
Nothing to
come up,
worry
actually. I
about.
doubt that'll.
Yeah,
Blood
into
thread
this
is
totally
probably
further.
over.
Yeah, Steven probably just said that for no
I
reason
don't
at
think
all.
there's really anything that we need to worry about.
It's
Yeah.
just for fun. It's not. It's just for fun.
Stay silly.
For
Steven's
flavor.
next thing he said was, "I wonder why she would want to develop this kind of alchemy," and I was like,
We don't know.
Wonder what.
But yeah, other than that, I don't really think I have anything worth reporting. That's what I got.
Oh yeah.
And I suppose maybe I might have to like try to have a roleplay conversation with you guys at some point about it, but I'll leave that till after we've discussed all that we did.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else want to step up? I'll call on people.
Oh, I need to check something.
I can go.
All right.
I'm a good student, Professor Steven.
Yeah. +1 to your
well-
next roll.
Well, speaking of professor,
Funny.
John researched absolutely nothing in relation to any of our leads during his week.
Little baby.
All
Yeah.
he did on his first day was he first went to the library, where he asked the question, "What is the strongest thing in history, and how did it get so strong?" Which, in response, the guys brought me a shitload of books, and they were like, and it started off with, well, the first four, first order deities are pretty strong. They can bend time and space, so like that's pretty tough.
Yeah, that's pretty hard to beat.
Then it was the second order deities, which derive power from the first order, and then the third order deities. Now there were a couple of pages ripped out, and when asked, it was just described that things change. The strongest no longer becomes the strongest, and someone else takes its place. So all right. And then there was a second book that detailed various entities that used to roam around Sumia and have no documented sightings in many years, many eras. And they get their strength from within, so no reliance on gods. There were about top 5. First were things called behemoths, and they're from hell. Second were leviathans, massive snake-like
Hell
snakes
is a
that
thing in Sumia.
That is
Hell
hell.
is
Oh.
real. Don't
The
forget it.
realm of hell.
And you will go there.
the
to
realm of the
worship.
hells was the specific
Don't
term.
forget it.
Okay.
Then there was some leviathans, which are like giant snakes that have been said to physically move between realms through speed and power alone.
Oh,
Third
Jesus
is the
Christ.
Colossus, so one singular Colossus,
Oh, God.
Big guy.
an entity that continuously grows to fill the space around it, swelling to heights and strengths unimaginable if not contained. And then
Sounds
fourth
awesome.
are the Titans,
So
which,
where's
made of stone, resist all forms of physical damage, mountain size, but rumored being able to be as big as planets. And then fifth are Grimox, which are winged beasts that fly across the realms of the abyss, putting all those beneath it in the shadow for days. So,
Jesus
That was
Christ.
fun to write. Yeah. That was
the
a-
last book kind of described how third order deeds are the strongest in terms of what they specialize in. But as far as physical strength, the strongest is one called Quack, who belongs to the Washada, goddess of health.
Mhm.
And he was granted ultimate strength when he fended off a bunch of demons from attacking a temple of Washada.
What happened in Sumia? It's fucking...
So that's what John learned from the library, and his takeaway was, well, let's start with the Titan because that seems, based on what the Ultra Priest said I could achieve, and then we'll see if I can get so strong where I can bend time and space. And we'll see.
You gotta go into that one under the Titan first. What's that
Yeah.
big dark monster?
It's a big litmus test, right?
Mhm.
Now, the other thing he did was, I got some free time. Let's look for contests of strength. I'm always looking to improve, and there were 3 that he found. A contest in the farmlands to see how many crops can be collected and carried within an hour, as it's time for the Oade squash to be harvested.
For sure. For sure.
Delicious. I mean,
There is a contest who can run the length of the road from the Vasira hub to the Sumia hub, which is about 20 miles, and at max speed. It sounds like a marathon. Noted in the pamphlet that traffic will not stop, and typically tries to impede runners in this race, so having long distance running speed just doesn't cut it. And lastly, there was a wrestling ring, where the champion is a female orc named Prish, who said that anyone who can beat her in a fight gets 100 gold and the title of Sonari Wrestling Champion until she beats you back. So he embarked in all these things, inquired a little bit more about Quack, and realized, Quack got his strength from the gods. John isn't about that. He wants it to come from within, and opted to go do these tournaments where he beat Prish, who was a 9-foot tall orc, in a contest of athletics where we had to do 3 successful grapples. Now he's Sonari champion. He's got a title belt. He did the race where, and then after he finished wrestling her, someone came up and was like, hey, she said, hang on, fuck, you're strong, good match. If you ever want to train together, I'm here. And I asked, well, is anyone stronger than you? And then she said, no one than me, just caught me on an off day. And then she's like, kidding. There is someone called the Professor who performs at the Shifting Vines. Many thinks he's fixed. But I got invited once and got my ass handed to me, even worse than, so I was like, all right, let's see about him. So then I did the squash and the race. I won both of those.
Attaboy.
I harvested many a crop.
John's
and I
fucking
ran
crazy.
many a mile, and I was like, all right, this was the big event. I was like, I gauged the crowd. I was like, is he fixed? I watched him do his thing. The Professor is they fought a person named Gorsha the Fist the day I just decided to go and watch. And it was insanity. It was on this big leaf in a place called the Shifting Vines, where most of the vines lay horizontal, and the vines were basically just like 100. What the leaves that these were all happening on were like 120 feet across. They kind of bounced up and down like a big trampoline, but there was a huge crowd there, and I went to go watch. And most of the people were like 50-50 split on whether or not the matches were rigged. People that said it was rigged seemed to hate the guy. People that said that it wasn't seemed to like the guy. I was like, all right, we're just gonna have to watch. And I watched specifically to see what was happening in the match and to see if anything was weird happening in the crowd. And he fought this guy called the Fist, who just had a massive, disgusting, grotesque hand. That like cracked and popped every time she moved her fingers. Just really gnarly. And the professor entered, and he's a tall minotaur with short brown fur, piercing white eyes. He wears a white cloak. And his entire gimmick was that he basically jumped up and down on the leaves like a trampoline, bouncing around the opponent. And it was a pretty even fight between him and the Fist, but at the end, the professor runs to the very tip of the leaf and begins to jump up and down on it, timing it perfectly to rise in height like a trampoline. And the Fist could not hit him while he's doing this. And with the final jump, he goes like fucking crazy high into the air and lands on the Fist in a huge elbow drop that fucking makes her go limp and flies off the leaf before someone catches her. People are pissed because he wins again. And I'm like, all right, crazy. Let's go fight this guy. So they're like, what's your name? And I go, I'm John. And they ask, well, we need something more than that. And I can't tell them that my name is just John. But I do anyway, because it literally is just John. I just can't tell them otherwise. And they give me two options to fight him. I can either pay 200 gold now or do a couple of fights and see if I earn it in a gauntlet match. And I'm going, I don't want to skip. I got to see if I'm really worth it. So I do the fights. The first person they put up is some dude who weighs like 90 pounds soaking wet. I punch him off. He goes flying, knocked out. Second person I fight is, Quasha the Angry, about 18 feet tall, little, pretty, wearing chainmail. It was a best of 5 for athletics checks mechanically, and crushed her. Well, it was a pretty close fight. She got a few hits on me, but I beat her. So then I get to fight the professor. But something I need to tell you is that before I fight him, before this all started, he comes up to me and goes, "Heard you're looking to fight. Let's make a bout out of it." And he's like, "If you win, you can ask me for some training, and I'll show you some, some moves. But if I win, I get those gauntlets." And this whole time, John has been wearing gauntlets that give him like +2 to athletics, but he's abandoned those because he's kind of shaken by the Hydra fight, and he really wants to make sure that all of his strength comes from like within rather than depending on items. He wants to be just legit. So he's like, all right, I'm not really worried about partying with these. It's a deal. Pretty close fight. Bouncing around, going crazy. He gets a pretty significant lead on John, where mechanically I can explain it later, but for the sake of brevity, I'll just say that at some point John had to rage and got pretty close, but the professor kept doing his dumb little bouncy move and just whooped my ass, so John lost. And that rattled him even more. The
Wow.
professor rolled a 40 for athletics checks twice.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I was
Not
rolling
even
like
that 20, baby.
yeah,
Takes to school.
I was
You have
rolling like
20?
35.
More
I
than
was
that.
like, I was getting close. I have a +18. And I was getting pretty close, but not close enough to get a quick success on anything.
You
So
guys
John's
could've
like,
called
all right,
to
that
do
was
this,
a
or
good
was it all
fight.
over text?
That was a good
It was
fight.
all over text.
All over text.
Legend.
Here's my gauntlets, but now I gotta ask, hey man, can I really just get some training? I really appreciate it. And he was like, all right. Let's see. I'll tell you this. Come by tomorrow to the arena and we can spar a little bit. Not really training, but let's see if you can just get anything off of like a little bit of a bout. I was like, oh, I'll fucking spar, which stands for Smash Professor and Rage. And Steven goes like, well, all right, give me an athletics check to see how much you get from this sparring session. DC 32. If you beat that, you'll learn something new, and it'll give me a permanent +1 to athletics. I was like, all right, bet.
Mhm.
I roll a nat fucking 20.
Let's
Oh,
Nat
go.
20 on
Let's
that
go.
match.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you're much stronger than I expected, John. Let me show you some things. And he shows me some crazy stuff. And I get a +1 to athletics permanently.
Yep.
And then, like, that's the end of my week.
There you go.
So
That's pretty.
wow.
I got a title belt.
what
I
a
fought the
story.
guy called the professor. I got a +1 to athletics. And I also learned, like, some, like, litmus tests to see if I'm getting stronger enough, which pretty much starts with a dragon, and then it'll be all the way up to, like, a titan, and then see if I can go further
Yeah,
beyond.
you got work to do. The professor beat you, bro.
Yeah, I know, man.
It's embarrassing.
Got to get caught up.
Wow, what a story! What a story!
Crazy
What a
ass
story!
Now in Foundry it says +1 the professor in his athletics.
Okay.
That's sick. I've just been
And then-
dicking around like a loser here.
That's all the other. That's like all. That's in conjunction with like the new progression system. So John previously had a +19 to athletics due to his bracers, but now he just has a +19 naturally.
Yep.
So I can't get stat bonuses from magic items anymore, but I can get stronger. So
So, yeah.
yep. So Sonari wrestling champ for John. Learned about Titans that can apparently be the size of planets.
Mhm.
So now he definitely doesn't want to go there.
What a wow! What a week! What a week!
Wahoo.
Let me copy and paste like the book stuff in chat somewhere. Where should I put
There's
that?
some
Steven?
notes. There's
Oh,
the
so let me
notes
put that in
chat.
the notes.
Could be pretty good to have that stuff.
So the other
Hilarious
folks
that
can read
I
it.
asked John during the week if he was researching anything about the Titans, and he just said, not really. I went once, but nah, that's it.
Did I say that?
Vaguely. And just from Steven telling me, he's like, John pretty much told you he didn't really learn much and
Awesome.
doing other shit in his week. You were just fucking fighting him
But
7
he had a good time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't upload it because I can't post this text because I'm not a fucking Nitro member.
That's too big.
Yikes!
Oh, yeah,
Yikes!
it's too much of it's too big. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
There we go. I'll just send as multiple. What a stupid thing.
Felix or Vita, what would you like?
Mine's
Which one of you would
gonna
you?
be simple.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't have the magical crafting feat to allow me to actually do this.
Hmm.
So I just would like to buy. Actually, hold on. How much money do I have?
You have 1,000
Total.
gold, and then
1,000 gold.
Rich man.
And then because runes are free, you probably still have that 333 from when you defeated the Shadow Rooms. I remember for that, you just got some runes, and I've now decreed that runes are free, so you get that
no, I
back.
spent for those 3, so it's okay.
Yeah, so you should get that back. So you should have 333.
Total wealth. Okay. Okay. All right, whatever. So I also realized there's a third item I want to get.
Okay.
A Type 2 spacious pouch because it's item level 7, and that's what we are.
That's
Type 2 spacious
Type
level.
2.
Yeah. So for the spacious pouch, I don't think that's something Felix can craft.
No.
Technically, I cannot craft any of this because I do not have magical crafting. Whatever.
Mhm.
Actually, can I? Hold on.
Whatever.
Whatever. General feat. Can't. No, I can't. Never mind. So I'd like to just buy the regular bag with money because we need a place to store this stuff easily, especially the crystals. And for the tent and the druid crown, can I convince you to let me do some nature shenanigans to at least get those at a discount?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll say that Roll me a nature check for both of those.
Okay, because I also realized I didn't do the math to see how much I can afford. But I'd like to. Anyway, nature.
We can do crown first, and then roll a nature check for the tent.
Nature for the crown.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Okay.
All right. And then the tent. Yeah. Bruh.
I'll say for both of those, because you have already created them, you were able to, find things and were able to create the items before they needed to be enchanted. I'll say that you can get a good half off discount for it.
Okay.
Not too bad.
That's good.
Now I need to
That's
pull
pretty
this
good.
up and do math. Okay, that's really it. Actually, let me do the math and I'll come back to you guys. Vita, you can go.
You go, Vita.
Berberman.
Okay, so I was a little startled that Vines seemingly has also returned from being banished, just in a completely different set of circumstances and just walking around.
Yeah.
I brought him up to the Ultra Priest. He had no idea who Vines was. So I went out
Good.
on a manhunt for Vines in the city of Oade.
A manhunt.
There was a little scuffle with some people or the guards, a little commotion going. I saw it was Vines himself, and I went up to him after looking around at him or for him, and let's see. I was like, you know what? The Dark One, I know him. I know who he is. And I was trying to just get him up to the Ultra Priest that we could capture him or something, or understand what he is. And he kept getting into trouble with the guards, so I used my status as a hero of Oade to pardon Vines on everything he does. So now he's immune to the guards in Oade. Insane moment where I was gonna ask him to go up, and he was like, "Isn't the Ultra Priest up there?" And I lied, and I was like, "No, it's the Dark One." And I rolled a nat 1, and then I used my spell I've been saving called Shift Blame, which is whenever I fail like a deception check, I can trick the person I'm talking to and make him think that someone else said what I just said. But we're the only two people in the room. So I made him think that he responded to his own question and I didn't say anything. And because Vines is so crazy, he like fully bought it and went with that. So I really fucked up there with a nat 1, but got away with that.
He talks
Took
to
him
himself
up. Yeah, the Ultra Priest pretended to be the Dark One. He conjured up a bunch of fake purple people, and Vines thought that he was being brought for his like divine reward. And then it got really embarrassing because he got all his memories back. Turns out he's actually a guy named Laku Rosna. He's from the forest, a cabin. He woke up and a worker gave him a potion, said he died, and that's all he remembers. He learned that in the archives.
Yeah.
I went with him there. And then he also got a list of names of all other people that have been banished ever. And
That's
I
crazy.
said, I kind of told him to like shut up about his past because he was like sobbing and shit. But he got over that.
Fucking died.
And now I've sent him off. He fully believes the Ultra Priest is the Dark One. And now he's going to go out and search for other banished people and attempt to bring them back to the Ultra Priest. who I've told all this to, and he knows the truth. So try to get a little bit of a handle on the situation of the banished people coming back. But if one of them finds out that I was lying, it's probably gonna be like extremely bad situation.
Good, good.
That is so incredibly funny.
But
You're
that's the
ruthless,
operation I have
dude.
going on now with Vine. So I got him his memories back. He's off. Equipment, I've got new outfit, little darker purpler robes, time skip moment. I got some armor. Or is it a shield? I don't even remember. With the
You got a
lion's
shield.
face on it. A shield with the lion's face on it.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a staff. Who knows what that does?
I bet you do.
And
I hope so.
and that's all I got, I think. I got some really funny new spells.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
All right.
good.
And
Yeah,
that's
I don't
about
know.
that.
I don't know if I think it was no one else was there, but we had a pretty big realization that Ori learns a lot more spells than Dylan thought he did, which is fantastic.
Yeah, like 10 to 15 more than I thought I was supposed to have. So
Jesus.
Oh,
And we
Oh,
got
wow.
a good choice every preparations.
so that was
Good
my
stuff.
week. I saw John once and he was preoccupied with his fight, so that was all I did.
There you go. And I
Hey,
will say,
man.
there you go.
Yeah, so like
No, I
that.
didn't even know that happened. Oh,
It wasn't worth messaging you because you just weren't. You were doing your own thing.
Mhm.
hey, man. Yeah.
Titans, they can be as big as mountains, maybe even
Biggest
bigger.
planets.
They're
Biggest
huge.
planets.
Yeah.
They're big.
Yep.
Do
But-
not want to go fight that right now.
And I'll say now, Vita, because you have a shield, essentially, one, you can use it as a weapon.
Yeah.
But you can also, I believe it's an action to raise your shield.
Oh, I
And
know.
So yeah, so I would just review the shield dynamics.
I read that one a lot.
Okay. Well, there we go.
Oh,
I
yeah.
always get my AC is never good enough.
All right.
Okay, I did math, and so I see the total wealth is like 1,391.9 gold. I only have 184.
Yeah.
I think I spent that, so I'm not sure. I don't want to just magically make 300 gold appear or whatever. However much I paid for the runes on my club.
Yeah, you probably had 333 like before you paid for the runes. So
Can I
make
set it to that?
Yeah, exactly. Set it to whatever that would be, and then add 1,000 to it because you just got 1,000 for defeating the false Hydra at the Greenway Resort.
Okay, cool. 1 second.
Wrong.
Nine. Yes. Okay. Add a bunch of gold. Okay. And I will buy this in a second, but I am buying a restful tent, magic,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm buying, I think, in
The
lore
enchantment
stuff.
for it, yes.
Yeah, the enchantment for it or something. So a restful tent is a 4-person tent which provides several benefits to those who rest within. The climate inside the tent is comfortable and allows creatures inside it to withstand most hostile weather conditions, but incredible heat or cold, powerful storms, and winds of hurricane force or greater can still damage or destroy the tent. Mundane pests such as insects avoid it. Those swarms and giant insects, for like game purposes, can attack it. Once you pitch the tent, only you can easily move it. Any other creature must succeed a DC 20 athletics check to do so. Finally, the tent automatically camouflages with its surroundings, requiring a searching creature to succeed at a DC 22 perception check to notice it. So we don't have to use spells to set up sleeping arrangements anymore.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
And Druid's Crown. So they look, you can make them out of different materials, and then they give you a different skill specialization and spell. So mine is made out of flowers, desert
No.
flowers.
Some nice
No.
desert flowers.
How
I'm
cute.
picturing like
Desert
white,
flower.
blue, pink, and orange pastel.
Oh, I actually love that. I love that a lot.
Some nice light, always in the
So
sun.
Trans colors.
So I get
Oh yeah.
Felix is gonna go on a crazy arc here soon, you guys.
Yeah.
Felicia.
Hell yeah.
Shapeshifter. So I get diplomacy bonus, and I get the spell Animal Allies, which is really funny because I thought
Ooh.
it would just turn an animal into an ally, but what it does is I summon tiny, ordinary animals from the environment, such as insects, birds, or fish, to quickly lash out at nearby foes.
Guys, it really is a trans arc. He's even got allies.
Got my allies.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
And then
That's funny.
Spacious Pouch is just this version of Bag of Holding.
Bag
It's
of
just a
Holding?
pouch. Pretty much, it's just like a little pouch
Wow.
out of a belt that can hold 50 bulk worth of items.
D&D classic. Let's go.
Classic. So I'm gonna be adding all of that to my inventory through whatever.
Yes.
I might need to whatever. And the crown and the tent were 50% off, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Does my armor do anything? I got that plus. Doesn't do anything, does it?
The armor that you didn't have armor before in Foundry Vita, so
Yeah, but this one doesn't do anything to my AC, right?
I
It
gave
says plus
you
0.
I gave you a cloak, some robes, and
Yeah, I see it.
no, I didn't attune it. Sorry, but in order to add runes, you need to add like the rune you were looking for. You need to add, what are they called? Potency runes, in order to get property runes. Like the more potency you get, the more property runes you get. And so the property rune you wanted, since they're free, you just get a +1. And now that you're attuned to it, you do get a +1 to the AC.
Oh, well, there it goes. It went up.
There you go.
Thanks.
Nice.
Epic.
Steven making it easy for us by knowing everything.
Yep.
God bless this man.
He knows everything.
God bless this man.
The god of Sumia. Hello.
Hello.
God is this man.
My self-insert is the god of Sumia.
Hello.
All right. So that is everybody's week. I do want to just mention that if you all want something to buy that you didn't buy, like potions or anything like that, during this week that you forget about or you want to do later, I'm fine with retconning that. Or even if you wanted to go to the archives 1 or 2 times, if it's reasonable enough, then I'm fine with that. I know that this, giving you all a week to figure out everything perfectly may not be enough all the time. So it's up to you all if there's more that you want to be doing during this week.
I would like to buy
I'm going to use the bathroom
3
while buying.
medium
Apples?
health potions.
Wait, what
Get
did
into it.
John buy?
Some health potions.
5 health
Smart.
potions.
Good call.
Good call, yeah, smart. But I'll say that before you all kind of meet up on the 8th day, as it were, well rested, I'd like you all to roll dream rolls for me.
Oh, yeah.
Just overall for the
Okay.
dreams throughout this week.
Oh yeah.
Right down the middle.
Whoa.
Right down the
Right
middle.
in the middle.
94.
Right down the middle. Oh, 94 is pretty good.
38.
There we
Money
go.
to say a
by
lot.
one.
By 1. Felix is by 1. I'll say, if you, as always, Turlon, if you want more details than I give you now, you can always DM me or ask now, and I will provide. But I'll say for all of you, before I get into it, all of your dreams are quite pleasant, and I'll say from your experience through just your life in general as characters in the world of Sumia, even you, Vita, you've kind of noticed that when you're stressed or you're on the road, you're stressed about things in terms of like, oh, you're fighting or you're in a weird place or whatever, you tend to have worse dreams. But when, you're in a period of rest, you're chilling out, and more, less stressed about very urgent matters. Maybe things are in the back of your mind, but a little bit stressed less. You get to have more pleasant dreams, and it seems to line up in that way. So all of your dreams are quite pleasant compared to the ones you've had in the past, that's for sure. I'll say that, Vita, for your dreams, it is, just because you're the one that rolled first, I'll say that for your dreams, you're starting to have dreams of, moments that you have experienced yourself. Some pleasant moments where you're walking through the Tilgi forest, when nature was around you and maybe you were alone, so you were able to just contemplate and focus. But you also have, dreams where you are, I'll say you have one dream in terms of that you remember throughout this week, that you are in that same place that that you were brought to whenever you talked with Sulan, dream of that infinite plane with the water. But I'll say that Sulan is not there and you're within the dream. And as you are there, maybe at first you were confused or scared, wondering where Sulan was, but you soon discovered that, when you would think of something or wanted to, see something in front of you, see anything, you started to worry that you weren't going to see anything in this realm. Suddenly around you, kind of with that same look that Ori has when he was within the realm of like the paper white, things would begin to fold around you, kind of like in an origami way, maybe a table or chairs you'd see in the distance, buildings. Essentially anything you thought of started to be forming around you within this realm. So that was an interesting dream. It started off a little bit scary, but turned into a more pleasant, interesting one. John, I'll say similarly for you in your past treks through the Zaroon Dunes and the Qatar Plains, as you are, walking with previous companions, and even though it kind of pains you inside to remember some of these companions, it does fill your heart with a little bit of happiness to relive some of these moments where, either through laughter or, there's revelry, or just even the peace and calm of walking and talking with, people that you grow close to. You have these memories. Turlon, I'll say for your dreams, you dream a lot about your time with the circus that you mentioned before, this traveling circus. You see a lot of, smiling children's faces, a lot of laughter, various performances. I'll say one dream that you specifically have is the moment that you kind of heard about Alkasan. It was from one of your compatriots in the circus that were, mentioned that they had heard it from someone in one of the small villages that you were visiting about this ancient language, how they thought you would find it interesting because they knew how you love just old things that tie in with the natural world. So you remember learning about that, but just pleasant memories of your travels before. Not many memories come to you of any of your time in the 10 Cuts. It's mostly in your travels through the Tilgi Forest afterwards. And I'll say for you, Felix, something that you've been longing to, experience, at least at some point. You've been in lots of cities, urban areas, and you find your comfort more in the wild. Your dreams take you back to various escapades within the Tilgi Forest, your home, just tending to the plants around the vicinity, taking strolls throughout the forest, taking in the wildlife. You just enjoy your time within the Tilgi Forest. Think back to those times, and it's all very pleasant. I'll say that whenever you all wake up from dreams throughout the week, it's not as stressed or worried about the things that you're remembering. It's a lot more normal, almost, what you expect dreams to be. It's not something you have to take too much meaning in. It's more just your brain wandering to good moments throughout your time here in your past. So that is everything with the dreams for this week. Just a general overview. You all wake up on the 8th day after your 7 days of rest that you all kind of agreed to have, as this is not a very pressing issue that pressing in the sense that it's probably not going to be a problem within the next week or so, but this slow deterioration of the Alkasan Barrier or Alkasan Barrier and Alkasan things appearing throughout the world. You all wake up. It is no longer the break. What do you all want to talk about? Especially after your interactions throughout the week and anything you gained from that.
I think.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Oh fuck, Dylan's frozen for me. Okay.
I'm here.
Hey. Sorry. Distracted by your unmoving face. So I don't think you guys would have seen Felix a lot during the week. I mean, I would have come in like maybe once or twice during the week, but otherwise I would just kind of be out living in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Briefly wearing my desert living costume, TM. So like loose flowing clothes and things like that. Something that is not as heavy and awful as like furs and leather. I also think the slight aesthetic change, the flower, like the druid crown, is just gonna be orange. Because I think it would be like a single flowering plant that I would kind of like put into like a cord that I had made myself previously. I feel like that's fair. And then I needed help to get the enchantment. In my mind, I'm just gonna say I needed the money to buy fancy things to really entreat the nature spirits TM to get the enchantment. The spacious pouch I did just buy in like a store, in a way, but the other two I mostly made myself. Forgot to mention, I think. But yeah, after the week, I haven't really talked to you guys, so I guess you would spend time getting Felix caught up. Also, where's Kevin?
Right there.
He's here.
What the? Hold on. Okay, my video for both of them is not working because it's just an empty seat for me. Anyway,
I will.
I forgot what I was gonna say. God damn
Am
it!
I looking normal?
Your video is just off for me. I
You look
forgot what
normal
the
to
fuck
me,
I was gonna
Dylan.
say. Hold on.
Okay, Kevin
One
looks
sec.
normal to me. This is correct.
Alex issue.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, it's fixed.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'll be real. I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm sorry.
Talking about getting Felix
Someone else
caught
talk.
up, and then
I actually have a quick thing I want to do.
That thing.
That thing. I feel like everyone is weirded out by all of my goop and gabo equipment. So I and I'm gonna combine that with totally forgetting that I have an esoteric pasting kit and wanting to have used it.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point towards the end, I am going to invite everyone. No one has to join, but I'm going to tell everyone that I'm going to experiment with some of the bits of. I think I got I want to say it was like just like fucking Hydra skin or scales as what I grabbed from the creature from the false Hydra. So I'm going to tell everyone I'm going to experiment with the Hydra scales and grind them up and see if I can get anything out of it. So I feel like in character, Turlon is trying to make it seem less weird, but I want to be clear that in character, it really doesn't make it seem less weird. You guys are more than welcome to think your characters understand it more, but I would say it doesn't seem any less weird. I basically take out this like sort of complex set of like multiple different mortars and pestles. Um, I don't know if the plural's mortars and pestle or mortars and pestles. I don't know which one you pluralize. But uh, I take out those, and you guys see I open my kit, and I have all sorts of various esoteric uh, cow tongue in a jar, fucking like toenails in a bag, some like probably bits of dried leathery skin, like affixed to parts of the coat, and I take out the scales, and I grind them up. And what do I get? What type of esoterica do I get? Steech. Sorry, it was
So,
the AIDS coming out there.
yeah.
You're weird.
You will say that so this is from the false Hydra that you're trying to grind up. So the type of esoterica that the false Hydra is a dream, is what I would say, of all the different types of esoterica. And so based off of the pasting kit, that means that the damage type that you get from this paste is mental, or psychic damage.
It's mental.
And because of the creature, the level of this false Hydra, would be an additional 1d10.
Got it. So that's a
psychic
one-time use,
damage.
right?
I'll say with the amount that you got before your memory started going out, or before you started forgetting what you were doing, I'll say that you can do two applications based off how much
So
you got.
I will like spend a decent bit of time grinding it up, and you can see I kind of like do it in steps from like coarser to finer grind until I have a relatively fine grind, and I explain with a surprising degree of depth how like this thing when I like run some sort of like I the player don't have a good explanation for it, but like when I use the sort of connection of the magical energy latent in the world, blah blah blah, with the paste, blah blah blah, put it on the weapon, and it does extra damage. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can
I
add
paste my
those in
shit epic
Fountain.
style.
But you can, and
Oh,
remember,
yeah.
it takes one action to apply that paste once you have it. So you have two pastes.
Hey, don't put on your toothbrush, brother.
Hey, wait.
I suppose I will start the conversation by going. Do we have any loose ends to tie up in Oade before we get out of here, preferably forever?
Huh? No. Can't we
Nope.
teleport out of here? Can we
I've
do
said
that?
my goodbyes.
That'd be
Uh,
quick.
You
I believe we were
We
given
could probably
permission
ring
to use
the vein breakers for one last favor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We should send a good goodbye to Sir Ross. He was kind to us, very helpful.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Card.
Sure.
Are you excited to get out of the city, Felix?
Oh yeah. I've been out of the city for most of my time already, but the desert's nice, but it's not my preferred climate.
We're gonna
point
save
to
your
I point
forest.
to the crown,
Yeah, we are gonna save my forest.
and I say, did you make the crown?
Yeah.
I know you described it a little bit, but is it like this? Is like a stupid question. Is like the handiwork? God, it sounds stupid. Is it like impressive? Like it's not like something like a fucking like toddler put together, right? I'm sure. I mean, it's pretty like intricately crafted.
I have the. I'm trained in crafting, so I can roll for it if you want, Steven. But I feel like it would not be unreasonable for Felix to just have like rope, or like to be able to the stuff to like kind of weave a cord. So it's like a bunch of smaller things of plant, like dried plant matter, kind of wrapped in, like bound together, and then the roots and vines and things of the actual flowering plant exist between them. And then there's an enchantment to bind the two together and do all the magic shit, and also let the plant survive. So yeah, I guess impressive.
Wanted to know how impressed to be by it.
It's
And
like
the answer is quite.
It's a living,
Mhm.
It's
living
very
piece of.
intricately made, Felix.
Thank you. Yeah, it's not incredible. Well, I'm not gonna say it's easy, but the design part was pretty easy. Just cord and flowers.
John, have you been to? We're going to chart a course back to the Tilgi, and I presume we are walking to the to Sir Ross. Have you been to the Tilgi forests and Ridak?
No, I don't think I
No.
have. No.
You've not.
I
Never
believe we
been that
told you
far
this
north.
already, but I have to state it again. You have to try the burst.
You'll like it.
Burst?
Yeah,
All right,
Burst
yeah.
is actually pretty fun.
Was that like a
But be
like a
careful. Did
brothel
we?
or?
No,
I-
it's like an entertainment thing.
Oh, okay.
I turn around to you guys. Did
There's-
we?
Yeah.
Did we tell him what part the burst has in getting us over here?
No, well, let's wait until we actually are at the burst. It's funnier.
You might as well see it in person. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Good
I'm looking
point.
forward to that.
Keep going. Keep
Awesome.
going.
I'll say you can.
Sorry.
I'll say you can say your goodbyes to Sir Ross if there's anything in specific you want to say. You absolutely can, but I'll just say you also all do know that you have access to the teleportation crystals because of you all being heroes of Oade. Like the Vein Breakers have access to it, but you have access to it, so it's not a favor that you would need.
Oh, we can just use it forever. That's helpful.
You can just use it. Yeah.
Teleport back to Redock.
Mm-hmm.
Yo!
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
Oh,
baby.
Can't wait.
So we get back to Redock, and then we stop by. Do we want to check in on James?
Yeah,
So
see
while
what
we're
the
in
fuck
Redock
their
first?
problem is.
Well, before we get there, I'll say that you all. Let me do something real quick.
What the
Like I'm
fuck?
doing
I
everything
don't like the
correctly.
sound of this.
Check something real quick.
Yeah, no. Let me just check something real quick.
Let's check something real quick. Okay, but so what you learn when you go to the teleportation circles is there are these various crystals that go across the Zaroon dunes, and they seem to be heavily focused on that aspect of it. You know, there's these, like, if you remember the teleportation room, there's like these 24 holes, and you came out of one of them. But there are also just a bin of various stones and crystals, which again are in some way Alkasan because of the runes that appear around you when you teleport, but are just found around.
Ooh. Can
yeah,
I grab a stone and test out the tattoo?
It
Like, I don't
only.
have to like grab it. I can like touch it.
I'll say that it only happens once you teleport, right? Like, or as you're teleporting, which is like, I think, if I remember correctly, like a 30-second process.
Can I try it?
You can, but you'd have to start teleporting somewhere. So, and then the
Yeah.
stone.
So when we choose to teleport, I'll do
Yes.
that.
Okay, then we'll do that. But I'll say that in terms of I'll make everybody come to the Sumia map real quick.
Ooh.
Already there,
But
dude.
in terms of the crystals that are not within the Zaroon Dunes, they are kind of just in random places. What you learn is that these crystals are just found throughout Sumia. And you know, they have the ability to anchor them back in Oade, but they have no way of changing where the endpoint is. It's kind of just where they were found. So if you all remember correctly, you all just kind of found those two Zaroon guards as they were walking towards Lasta. It wasn't within Lasta, right? It was just kind of around the area. So they can't actually change where it is, but they can anchor it back to Oade. And so basically the one that's closest to Riddock is probably about a 1 day's worth of travel down a road towards Riddock.
Close enough.
Close enough. So I will say, and like based off of everyone, if everybody zooms in near Riddock in Sumia, I'll say that it's around this area is where the closest one all is. All the other ones are in various different areas, but it would take you about a day of traveling down the road to get up towards Riddock. So that is what you would have to do. It's not going to be a lot more travel. If there's anything you would want to do in a day's worth of downtime, just walking down the road, maybe hitching a ride or something like that if you all wanted to make it a little quicker. But it's gonna take a day's worth of travel to get there.
Do we know that I can't prepare enough horses? Actually, wait. No, never mind. It wouldn't work. We're just walking.
Okay.
One day
We're just walking.
we can survive. We'll be fine.
One day walking, able to camp out in your new tent for the night. It's very nice.
True.
Once again, have
I'm at control.
So what does Turlon read when we teleport?
Yes.
So
Great question.
as you are teleporting, there are runes on the ground that you all see around you. Kind of this 3 foot, 4 foot diameter circle around you all. As you all have to be holding on to the crystal as this is occurring. And I'll say, Furlon, give me an acrobatics check. How quickly can you try and read this? Because it's 30 seconds, but it takes a little bit to read a whole phrase. So.
Oh yeah, understood.
Oh yeah, understood.
30.
30's pretty good, I'll say.
Oh yeah.
I'll put it up.
It's all right.
30's pretty good.
Almost rolling a 20 on that, but I'll take a 19.
I'll take a 19.
See Alden's corpse. It's the last in the Riddick map. The last time he was on here, he was still at Vector's Peak.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah,
back out there again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll get John out here. Come on, here we go, John. There you are, John. All right,
Here I am.
You all are gonna be near Riddock. Nice. Okay, let me pull up some things. Sorry, was not expecting that.
We'll use the bathroom while you pull it up.
The Sumia lore Google Doc. With your stupid high 30 roll.
I'm not stupid.
With your very high, you see you are able to get maybe half of the circle. Just because you're not able to reach around other people within this time while still holding the stone. But I'll say that you read, it appears to be the words, traverse the infinite domain with haste is what you read.
We be doing that.
That is the section that you read.
You'll see I put my hand on one of these stones, my left hand, and I'd like to imagine that I put my hand on the text, and then I pull up my sleeve, and you can see, for one of the first times, really me willingly showing my arm, and the tattoo starts to like glow this light. Steve, what's a color that we wouldn't associate magically with Alcation? So I want to make it clear that the tattoo's not Alcation.
The tattoo. Let me think about these things.
Also, let me know if I'm free balling the tattoo a little too hard.
No, you free ball as much as you'd like, there, bud.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna have this kind of dark, dark green, dark gray color to it as it emanates.
And you see that color starts to kind of emanate from their arm, and then you see it kind of moved and shift almost like an aurora borealis as the it's not like bright, it's pretty dim. It might look a little bright in a darker room, but as the lines on their arm turn into elvish for traverse the vast with haste, or whatever the exact text was.
Yes, traverse the infinite domain with haste.
And then I kind of relay that. Say, oh yes, one of the tattoos I got. There's this great magical tattooer in Oade. Steven, what's his name?
You have 20
Simon.
seconds left.
Simon,
Simon.
who put this
Simon.
tattoo on me. And it has some magical capabilities, so that I can tell you what that stone says there. But it only works once or so a day. It takes a lot of rest to use.
Hmm.
And this one says traverse. I'm forgetting what I'm traversing with haste again.
Infinite domain.
I put it in the notes, don't worry.
Thank you.
Alright.
Fully expected to see Kevin's last name in the notes channel. Hot
Oh,
take.
can you hear me now?
We can hear you,
Okay.
Stage.
I switched to my headset mic.
You're really quiet though.
Turn me up, baby.
Turn that shit up.
Turn up.
Crank
Turn
that.
up,
Turn me up, baby.
baby.
Alright. So, you all arrive the gates of Riddock. Let me pull up the map, everybody. I mean, come on.
Oh, surely it has
Dude.
changed in like 3 days.
My goodness.
I did not think y'all. I just had to add this now because I didn't think y'all would be freaking going to Riddock so soon. I mean, come on.
Give me a break.
You had no idea.
Riddock is where we
no.
live, man.
That's where you live.
Campaign started in Riddock. It's gonna end in Riddock.
This
talk
is
to
where
my
everything
founder.
comes down.
I gotta talk to my boy James, dude. I'm sorry.
You gotta.
I heard about this awesome drug. I gotta go check
I
out.
can't see anything, man.
Well, I gotta put
Dark
you
and
in
Riddock.
1 second.
David, please.
Oh my god, what the hell happened?
Oh my god, I remember this place.
Oh
Holy
my
shit, I forgot how
God.
extensive this map
Yeah,
was.
it's fucking big, dude. So
I
fucking
love that.
big.
Awesome that Upbrand is on the south.
Yeah, it's not referring to location, buddy.
No kidding. No kidding, bud.
No.
Nine.
Kunkal Temple.
No kidding.
Yeah, we
No
got.
kidding.
There's
bud.
lots to do in Riddock that you could go to. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they have smiles and books for sale.
Dude, I gotta
So,
pull
yeah.
up the freaking Google Doc 1 second. Okay.
And no iron blacksmiths.
Riddock. Here
I'm
we
gonna
are.
I'm gonna ask the others, what are we gonna do here? We're just gonna go straight for James, shake him down. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, I think we're pretty mission focused here, so maybe ask if I mean, do you know anyone here who could know about the caustic animals?
I don't know
I'll say
anyone
the.
here.
I'll
I
say
don't
the.
think we know anyone.
I'll say the 3 of you do know that Riddock was attacked by the animals the same day that you all were attacked by them. There seemed to be a bunch of animals and a bunch of the Riddock guard were killed. Now this was weeks ago at this point, but that did happen as you all entered Riddock, the 3 of you.
Okay.
First things first is
Yeah,
we
you all-
show John the burst.
First
Yeah.
things first, I'm the realist.
Yeah, you
Not
all-
that, it's the
You all
worst, actually.
enter Riddock once again, surrounded by this like 30-foot tall stone, thick wall. Seem to be protective of the inside of Riddock, but as soon as you enter, lots of wooden buildings that appear to be. Well, you all are entering the upper end, so I'll say that as you enter, you see lots of various colors. Seems to be, and these buildings are pretty tall. I mean, you all went through the lower end when you first entered Riddock. And this was, all those buildings are a lot lower, painted kind of red. These are, maybe 3-4 stories each. Seem to be a lot more elaborate as you walk through the upper end. But do you all go to the burst?
Yes, absolutely. First
Oh my
thing,
god.
Okay.
Damn straight.
you show him the burst.
And so as you all
So this is the burst.
approach the burst, once again you see this kind of circular pyramid, light blue, bright light blue structure, kind of tiered in a way up to a certain point, and then there's just a pillar that reaches up. This is a couple 100 feet into the air, and then there's just a gigantic cannon-looking thing on top, pointed straight up. And I keep forgetting how ridiculous the burst is. As you all are walking, you all hear just in the distance just this sound as every 5 minutes or so there's just this large sound that is never, pardon the pun, bursting your eardrums, but it's still certainly quite loud. So as you approach the burst, you see that as coinciding with this noise, there are people that get shot up into the air, looks like people, and then as they reach their apex, some parachutes, which you've never seen, John. Never needed to. Kind of
Yes, they really
these
are people,
devices
John.
start to
Those are
float them back down
Real
throughout
people being
Riddock.
shot up in the air.
We've done that twice, right?
Yes.
Twice?
Yeah,
Was
We
it?
should've-
It's fun,
pretty cool.
and you use it to
Climb
Well,
a mountain.
use
They
it to
just-
fly to a mountain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's normally just for fun, though. We should have looked up in the archive how they built this.
Oh yeah.
We
I'm not that
gotta go
interested.
back
I
now.
did.
Well, I want to go on it.
Yeah, obviously we're gonna go.
Okay.
Wait in line.
Yeah, you wait in line.
Absolutely.
I don't need
Win
a
in
parachute.
Riddock.
Yeah,
Win
I
in
don't need one of
Riddock.
those.
there's a
Pretty down.
decently short line. It's kind of early in the morning. It's like probably around 11.
First thing in the
Fast
morning,
pass.
get on the burst. You already know.
I got
Yeah.
fast pass.
We're
Yeah,
in front of the line, baby.
as you approach, I'll say 1 second. There's so much. Okay. Let
Only
me
been
go.
a couple of days.
What do you mean there's so much? We're just going on the burst. Nothing can go wrong. What?
No, you meet Lurfa,
3-page long chart.
who is you meet Lurfa, who the three of you have seen before. Very charismatic, dressed in multicolored dwarf appears. Let me see something.
Let me see some.
Pretty sure my cat can tell that I have a headache because he's just running around and screaming at me.
Help it out.
I'm
The headache.
having a headache.
More than
Help it
normal.
out.
Get better. Get better.
I'll say that
Not my
Lurfa
job to
does
educate you.
Lurfa does not recognize you all. Rolled a natural one.
Yeah.
And asks for the 2 gold to ride on the burst from each of you.
Oh.
Are you serious?
Drop in the bucket.
Do you say, are you serious?
Yeah. We're back from saving your fucking town.
I
Least we
mean,
can do is get right on the burst.
I
Whoa.
throw
We probably have to talk to the leaders of the town to get free burst
Whoa.
passes.
I
Okay.
throw 4 gold into the bucket.
Whatever.
2
I
for me,
throw-
2 for Vita.
I throw
Okay.
my own gold too.
Yeah, where the fuck am I?
Canonically, Vita is mean to service workers.
Yep.
It's true.
Always happens.
Yep.
He's a
Yep.
Karen.
Yeah.
Yep.
You people are subhuman.
Oh, sorry.
Yikes.
He's a cat folk. He is not a dwarf. Sorry.
Now you
But,
guys are with me.
No.
as you all you start ascending
also
the
racist.
spiral stairs all the way to the bottom of the burst. It's quite the trek. Lurfa starts to tell you about how the burst was. This is a spiel that the three of you have heard before, but how the burst was built long ago by a man. 1 second.
Get that lore ready.
I guess.
Get it out, God.
Get it
Burst
out, go.
more ready. Come on.
Here's
Was
your
built
burst page.
First
by
page.
built by an inventor called Ropin Deneron, who was a follower of Etbusan, goddess of the burst, and wanted to harness the winds for both entertainment and for value.
You You
back,
have a
she was
goddess
goddess of
just
the
for the
burst.
burst.
Wait, she was goddess. He was a follower of the goddess of the burst before the burst was made.
Goddess of
The gust, right?
the gust. I misspoke.
That
Goddess
makes
of the
more
gust.
sense.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that makes more
Misspoke.
sense.
But yeah, goddess of the gust, and wanted to harness the wind, both for fun and for goods. Learned that, he says that the beginning of every morning it has to charge up, and they use the first few bursts to send supplies to various areas before it becomes an entertainment cannon.
Where do I
yeah, you go.
Where do I land, and do I have to come give the parachute back?
He nods his head. He says, "You land somewhere in Riddock, and then you have to return your parachute to the Temple of Edbasan that is at the south end of the burst."
Okay. Is there like a deadline, like a late fee?
He says, "We make lots of these. They're all the parachutes are personally blessed by Edbasan herself. So you all please
Wow.
return them, but we don't keep track of that."
Okay.
He said, "Please return them. We have no way to check if you don't."
Yeah,
Please,
no clue if you
please.
can.
Yeah,
You actually do.
they make a lot of them. So I'll say you all enter now just this steel cylinder that's like, I don't remember how big it is. It's like 40 feet wide, I think, in diameter, 50 feet
Jeez.
wide in diameter. At the bottom, you look down and you just see a metal grate with just blackness below. You do not see a ground beneath you, but it's quite loud as you enter. You can, on the burst, you saw these spinning mechanisms that were spinning with the wind, appearing to power it up. And as you make it in, they strap you into the parachutes, and they ask, "Are you all ready?"
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Mhm.
I need one of you. I need all of you first to roll 3d100 for me.
Jesus. Like together or separately?
All of you separately do 3d100.
Wait, do we need to get all ones we die?
Yes, if you happen to get a total of 3, your parachute does not work. It's a 1 in a million
Oh
chance.
my god, 77.
That's pretty low, dude.
No, that's pretty
That
low.
is crazy.
Okay.
One of them was a 2. Sorry, one of them for mine was a fucking 2.
That's crazy.
Scary.
A 2, a
Scary.
39, and a 36.
Sorry, I can
That's-
barely see right now. I'm trying.
I can roll it for you if you want.
I got it.
I got it.
Well, I don't got it very
Well,
fast.
one
but I
one
got
of
it.
one of Vito's was a 1, so that's crazy.
That's fucking crazy.
Oh shit.
All right, everybody's
I did
fine.
not die.
Everybody's fine. You get shot into the
Hello,
air
number
hundreds of
95,
feet.
99.
This is the first time you've ever experienced this, John. Just the wind rushing past your face, your entire body as you get shot. I mean, even in your
John,
helmet,
With this
it's
cone
whistling.
helmet looks like
Yeah.
looks like a rocket.
Exactly, it's whistling in the wind as the air goes through these small slits that you breathe through. You get shot into the air hundreds of feet. Your parachutes deploy out, and you all begin to float down. I'd like one of you, if you can, to roll a d20.
I can do it. I can do it. I can do it.
Nice.
Oh, almost a natural. And then
Stream
someone
of
else
lava.
roll a d12.
I don't roll well. Someone else.
You can't roll well. It's
This
just
is
a
all.
direction.
This is pure direction.
I'll
Yeah.
do it.
You all got a natural 1 on the last one for the d12. This is funny. You all start to go this direction. I'll say, well, I can't really indicate it. You all go to the 4 o'clock direction. Getting quite far, towards the wall on the other side. And I'll say, as you are up, all of you, and you, John, having not ever seen this before, see beyond the wall to the south. What direction is it? Southeast. You see a huge pit of what looks like lava. You've maybe seen lava a couple times in your life, but just this bright orange pit
No,
of
we can't.
lava.
Are we landing at
You
Fucking
are not
rogues.
landing near it, but you
Fucking
are,
thank
or
God.
you're not
We're
landing in it,
not gonna see it.
but
Stay
you are
away,
going.
stay away, stay away.
You're going to land kind of southeast of the friendly smelter. You land on a roof, and you are able to get back down with your parachutes, and you can fold them up and return them if you'd like.
Yeah.
It is up to you
I
all.
guess I will. Yep.
Okay. I'll say this will be the last thing we'll do for this session, just because it's getting a little late. But you all, head back to the burst. Once again, there is a pink door that is on the south side of the burst that has the symbol of Etpison on it. I'll say that I'll send that later. I have it, but just to be expedient. You all enter, and as soon as you enter, you see a woman there wearing these light pink robes, staring at you all, and her eyes are wide open. I'll say as you enter this chamber, once again, there's a grate beneath your feet, with just blackness below, and wind is just rushing up perpetually, at probably like a good 10, 20 miles per hour. So, hair is flying up. Her hair is flying up as she all looks to you with these wide open eyes, and she says, "Are you here to return your parachutes?"
Absolutely.
Yup.
And do you all return your parachutes?
Sure.
100%.
Are you here to
Every
return your
time.
parachutes? She says to the people
Yeah.
with 4 parachutes.
And she
Yeah.
says, "Do you all want to
Yeah.
hear about Etpison?"
We have already heard it, but thank you.
No.
She says, "Oh, okay, if you ever need to, we're right here." And she's just
Absolutely.
staring at you all with these wide open eyes.
Totally.
Wait, when was the last time you slept again?
She says, "I don't need to sleep. The air keeps me awake."
That's awful.
Maybe I
Awful
do want
answer.
to hear about it.
You need to get at least 8 hours per night. Otherwise, you'll have crappy muscle development and
You should
poor
look
health.
into someone called Sulan. I think she'll really help you sleep better.
She looks at you. She says, "Ah, Sulan, the goddess of moons. I do not need any patronage from her when I have Etpison."
How old are you?
She says, "I'm like 30s. Why do you ask?"
You look 60 because of the lack of sleep. So please get some
Wow,
shut eye.
John.
Yeah, John.
Hey,
I'm
we
just
take
being
you,
honest,
We
it's
take you
not
to our
good for her.
place. You can't
It's not
do
good
this.
for her. It's not good for
She
her.
knows that. This is her life. She's got it down.
All right.
Hey, Steven, does she actually look 60?
She looks 30. She looks healthy. Just her air's flying up in the air, and her eyes are just wide, staring at you all.
John can see it. John can see
Horrible
it.
dick. All right.
John just
Sorry
heard,
about
I
it,
don't
man.
sleep, and then he has not taken any new information. He's like, that's
Sorry.
disgusting. You need to be sleeping.
Vita rubbed off on me with his mistreatment of that last worker. I was feeling something. Sorry, you look fine. That's my mistake. I'm sorry.
She says, "I accept your apology. Do you all need anything else?"
No, that's it. Thank you.
Oh,
Says, "Well, have a good time and ride the burst again."
Absolutely. Yes.
All right, and
All right, guys, let's go.
It's like revisiting a town you've already been to that it's full of
Mhm.
NPCs in a video game. You just know what they're
Do you
all
want to
gonna
hear about?
do.
No, I don't. I already know
No, I
more.
don't. I already know about Etpison.
I didn't mean to hit that dialogue option. Please just show me what you're selling.
Yeah, pretty much.
They ask everybody. All right, so I'll say that that's how you get some people converted. I'll say that we will end the session there. You all will
And
go
with
and
a
see
burst.
Chains
Stuck in a
at the
burst.
Tents of Luck. You all got to ride the burst again. Did not go to the Kahar lava pit, unfortunately.
I'm
Thank
going
God.
to be